When we are
That's
hiding,
amazing.
we are literally removing the possibility of having that experience of deep connection and accepting each other for who we are.
We assume that they are gonna not love us for that side
Correct,
of us.
because we don't
Because
love
we
those
don't.
parts of us.
Yeah.
You need to get so deeply connected with yourself, because if you want to be deeply connected with somebody else, you can only go as deep as you go with yourself, where you take yourself.
Hey girls, welcome to another episode of CELE Chats. My name's Carly and Meg, and we created CELE Chats podcast to celebrate you, celebrate personal growth, friendships, and all things life. And today we're so excited to introduce you to our very special guest, Ludmila Woodruff. She's an internationally known relationship and life coach, and I actually had the opportunity to personally work with her. I highly recommend her. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about all things perfectionism, people pleasing. Trust me, I needed help with that. Setting boundaries, friendships, and apparently we are going to be addressing Megan's dating patterns because we are no longer doing it for the plot. So we're so happy you're here. And welcome to our heart-to-heart conversation.
All right, ladies, we always start every episode with a pulse check, a CELE scoop to just see where you're at and how you're vibing. So I have a question for both of you. And the first one is, what's something you've stopped doing recently out of self-love?
So many things.
That's
But
a
I
good
will
one.
start with one. By the way, I have a pulse. Okay. And a good
Thank
one.
God.
And a good one. I got it. Okay. Even though I had already great boundaries, but there were still people in my life, and we might talk about this later, where I would accept that I would be always the one more emotionally understanding, let's say, if there was a conflict or misunderstanding. And as of lately, I decided that I'm not available to be always the emotional leader in friendships that still require that, because it's a lot of work. And that was a pattern that I kind of put to an end for myself. I know where it comes from. And I must say, it's so much lighter to be in friendships where I'm not the only one that understands when there's conflict, how to handle it, and how to take responsibility for your part. I used to be very understanding of some friends that were very close to me, what they're going through. And I thought being understanding is admirable, but it also comes at the cost at some point if you are always the one extending yourself. So yeah, that was a
Interesting.
really great choice for me. And I have lots of love for those people. And I just am not available to perform in that role any longer in my friendships.
Do you
That's
think
amazing.
you felt like drained? Because being a compassionate person is kind of draining sometimes, right?
Well, you know, it sometimes comes when there is miscommunication in text messages or on a call. I always say it's better to call, but let's say it happens in a text message. And if you try to soften it and try to approach the other person with more softness and understanding and empathy, and they still come out very harsh, then you have to keep going and be the person that takes responsibility and is always, understanding. And that takes a toll
That's
over time, right? Because you are always the one like, okay, I understand you are struggling with something. I understand you are going through something. Let me be understanding because I'm doing okay and I can kind of hold space for you. But then it becomes the dynamic of that relationship. And it's just not fun anymore for me in this stage of my life. And I said, I hold space for a lot of people in my coaching. I have 2 kids and a husband and myself, and I matter to me. So yeah, that pattern's gone.
absolutely.
You let it go.
So much lightness.
Awesome.
Wow, that is deep. I feel like as almost 30, I've been really rethinking some of my friendships and the cost of being a compassionate person and how it is impacting me. And did you just feel really like did you have like a fallout with this friendship?
Well, there was miscommunication.
Yeah.
There was, and what I understand, there was also expectation gap. I am very easygoing person, and if I make mistake or you're my friend and you make mistake, I'm kind of easygoing. I will not be holding on to. That's what we discussed before, and I'm not very rigid in my being.
Yeah.
Same with us.
And
Yeah.
so when
For
somebody is
sure.
very rigid in their responses when I'm trying to be soft, it doesn't come off well. Like
Yeah.
I need to feel care and nurture in your responses, and I need to know like you care for me. But when you come off in your communication very rigid and strict, I feel like you are talking down to me right now and you are becoming like my boss or my parent, and I don't do that. And so there was a miscommunication of expectations on, I'm like, we can just redo it. That's not a problem. And the other person had other opinions. And I think she was triggered. And I can understand that, but it was draining for me. Because I've used to be the person that can hold a lot of, for a lot of people, but also at expense at some point. So it just was a no for me. Like, I can love you from afar until you can figure that part of yourself out. If you want to, you don't have to. But I cannot engage in this dynamics anymore. That makes sense. It doesn't even have to be a fallout. It's just the way somebody communicates with you. I just have standards how I'm spoken to right now.
I so get that. I remember...
even if you're angry, there is a way to navigate that in a way that's better.
I remember when we worked together. Remember I was going through that situation where the person was really disappointed in me for not being able to... So we can dive into that later, but that is good. I like that.
I love it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, Chicky, so what's your answer? What's something you stopped doing recently out of self-love?
Stopped doing recently out of self-love. Honestly, this is an interesting one, but I think it's an important one that I share. So I was on SSRIs for probably like almost 5 years. And this year I made the decision to completely stop them. Of course, tapering, so not all at once, but safely stopped them. And the reason why I wanted to do this out of an act of self-love is I realized I wanted to reconnect with the real me. Because there was a girl who operated without these during college. She was thriving. She was a little bit more full of life, and it was really hard, but I'm so glad that I did, because I feel like I'm feeling things more fully. Like I realized there was a lot of areas where I was numb and I wasn't really responding to things in a way that was authentic to myself. So I feel like I get to live life a little bit more fully now. Yeah. And it was scary. I
love that though, because you know what, with what you say, it's like it helped you to not feel some things, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe not feel as anxious or worried, but then it also shut down other parts of you, like joyfulness and full expression, or maybe a little bit of wildness, right? And that's what I say when we disconnect from emotions. You were taking some medication, but I see it with people doing even without medication, where we disconnect from anger or frustration or disappointment, and we think we're doing such a good job, but then we are also paying price in deep connection with ourselves and with people around us, and joy and pleasure. Because if you shut down some parts of you, the emotional parts of you kind of shut down all the emotions in a way, because you become
pleasure
numb.
Too, girl. The libido skyrocketed when I went out.
That's what I mean.
Yes. And I resonate with that, but not even in a medical sense. I feel like I've always put so much pressure on myself to be this happy, positive person that I shut down all my negative emotions. And then as I've allowed myself to feel them more over the past couple of years, you also start to feel higher levels of happiness, and the good ones too.
No, that's real. Like in therapy, we had to go really deep on something that I embodied as a young child. And I kept saying to myself, I am always positive and happy and grateful. And then I shut off this whole side of me that wasn't changing things that I wasn't happy about in my own life. I was hiding and finding the gratitude. So that's real. Yeah, that's real. Like, of course, being positive and grateful is a beautiful energy to be in, but
100%.
But not gaslighting yourself. Not
gaslighting
yourself. When you are pissed, you are pissed.
Gaslighting.
Don't gaslight yourself into I have to be always a positive person, and don't rock the boat. Yes, and
that's 100%.
So true. What about you, girl?
For me, last year I was dealing with so many different health things, as you know. Like I had like hormone issues, gut issues, mold toxicity, blah, blah, blah. So I went really strict and rigid to get myself to the other side of those, like no sugar, no dairy, no alcohol, all the things. And that helped me get to a point where I wanted to, but lately out of self-love, it's just being less regimented with that and just allowing myself to live my freaking life and go out to dinner, enjoy the things that I want, and
have a cocky
when I want. I was doing no drinking for a while, so I think it's living as this healthier version of me, but also as the human version of me. So I just stopped being so strict, which I do tend to do.
Less rigid.
I'm really strict on myself in general.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. But you are growing in that area a lot.
Yes.
So I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of everyone for
amazing
eliminating some things out of our life.
All right, we have one more CELE scoop for the ladies.
For the girls.
What has been the biggest paradigm shift that you've experienced this year?
Yeah, I think it ties to the first question that I had, but it's, I've already, embodied that person that doesn't care what people think about me. But I think when it came to close friends that I did care about, is just allowing them to be wrong about me. And that's fine. You can be wrong about me, and you can have a version of me in your head that I don't agree with, and that's okay. And
You
that's okay.
owe yourself that piece to
Yes.
let them be wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like overall in my life, I've never really cared. I was always very rebellious. But then in very close friendships where, you know, I don't have tons of friends, but the friends in my life do matter to me. And I nurture those friendships because they matter. So when it came to people very close to me, I could catch myself, I hope they think well of me, even if we, you know, separated in the ways we did. I understand why they did what they did. I can literally see it why. But I let it go. I'm like, you have all right to think whatever you need about me, and I'm okay with that. And then there's nothing to prove.
Yeah.
You can keep that if that helps you.
Yeah.
I will keep that.
And-
I like that.
And everyone already sees a different version of us anyways. Like we have
Correct.
no control over the version of ourselves
You
that people
don't.
see. And
You don't.
every single person
Yeah.
sees you in a different light.
I think it just
about that a lot.
helps. Yeah, I think it helps if you can safely and honestly quickly as you possibly can, just come back to your truth. They don't need to know your truth.
Correct,
you know?
but there, you know, as it comes to, that's why vulnerability is so hard for people, because vulnerability is required for intimacy in friendships and in, you know, your relationships with your man if you are married. And it's amazing to be vulnerable, it's amazing to be open, but then the deeper you go with that connection on the vulnerable side, there is a part of you, you would be kind of a psychopath to never think, hey, did I do something, not something wrong, but I hope they know I cared for them, right? I would be worried if you never had that thought, if it comes to people that matter to you. So that part was still there for me, meaning like, is there a way to still bring it together somehow? But then I could catch myself and see, if I would be the one trying to have this conversation, again, I am trying to mend something that I didn't break. Does that make sense? If there is a disconnection, I didn't cause the disconnection. Somebody else's perception of expectations and me triggered them, and they created the disconnection. So that's not on me. That's not my responsibility to kind of mend it. Does that make sense?
That's a very healthy mindset. I like
Because
that.
then you are the fixer then, in a way.
Yeah.
Like you are the one that can provide the safety, and I had the bandwidth and all the things, but it's not my role anymore, you know?
Yeah.
I take another role on right now as a friend, so...
Taking that hat off.
Yeah, taking that hat
Yeah.
off. Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. How
Love
about
it.
you, Carly? What's a paradigm shift?
shift in 2025. Wow, I can't believe we're in 2025.
I know.
Going into 2026, a paradigm shift, that's a big one though. This has been a big breakthrough for me, a lot of breakdowns along the way to coming to this paradigm shift. But I realized that I am no longer measuring my success, my version of success in my own life based off of how well I perform. So that could be how much I'm doing in a day, how I show up on this podcast. I used to be so hard on myself, especially with stuff like this. And I'm no longer measuring my success on how well I perform. I'm measuring it on how peaceful I get to feel in the moment. So putting presence first, ignoring negative thinking that isn't really myself, and just observing it and letting that thought go. So yeah, it's been a wild
That's
ride to get
phenomenal.
here.
Yeah.
It's been a wild ride to get here.
And I can imagine like being on a camera, right? Because, you know, when I started the podcast, I can imagine you want to, the perfectionistic part would be you have to look this way, you have to do it perfectly. So it's great when you say, I'm just looking for inner peace. I want to feel peaceful.
Peaceful, present,
Yeah.
right? Present in the moment, non-judgmental towards what am
Yeah.
I going to say. Like, of course,
Just
you've
human.
seen me. Like, sometimes I over-prepare for things, and I'm like,
That's
even
a good thing. I aspire to be like
to
that.
a point, though. to a point, it can bring you down.
Yeah.
Over preparation.
But I mean, even going back to your answer to the first question, seeing you get to the other side of getting off of the SSRI and then just the peaceful life that you and Drew have built together.
Yeah,
The peaceful energy that you emanate lately, which I really appreciate, as we've talked about a little bit before this. I tend to run a little chaotic. I
okay.
feel it, and I feel like it's a new level of peace for you lately.
Definitely a new level of peace. Because when I was growing up, look, my life was really chaotic. Like, finances were not in order. I was extremely stressed out, and I started to associate performance with abundance and making money, right?
Yeah.
And
That makes sense.
wondering where, you know, my client could be in this room. Like, I was obsessed, and I had to be at the time and the season to try to make ends meet. And so to be here now and like, I would say 2025 has been a year of rest for me, but I am ready to get back out there. Like, it's been awesome.
The girlies have been resting.
We have been. And Megan and I are honestly coming off of a whole, past couple months of just resting and exploring. And
We really took the summer off.
we did.
That's
It
amazing,
was
though.
a lot of rest and a lot
That's
of travel.
amazing.
It was
Amazing.
We do not take that for granted.
No, it was truly
But
epic.
I think, and as you see with yourself, you say, I'm ready to get back into whatever you want to do, right? Like even with this podcast. And I think if you don't rest, there is no space for creativity.
Absolutely.
Or even noticing what feels good and what do I really desire to pursue further.
Yeah.
Because if you are constantly on, there is this grind of things that need to be done.
It's true. And I know I feel peaceful right now because historically, for stuff like this, my heart would be like running through the roof, like even on an anxiety med.
Yeah.
It's truly a cover up.
The med?
The med. Yeah, like even on the
There's
medicine.
a lot of people that get off the meds. Like I would have people that are on antidepressants sometimes, not allowed, but you just have to regulate. You just need to be comfortable with all the sensations in your body and all the emotions that come up without judging them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Without judging them.
Without judging them.
Is
That's
the
that
hard part for me.
without judging.
Yeah.
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 That is true because sometimes Megan, you will be like, I'm having a really anxious week, and I'm like, girl, I'm giving you grace, but you got to give you grace too. We have to give ourselves the grace to allow it and feel it. But the hard part, I think, is not letting it bring you down, right?
Well, not being so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that comes from where? It comes from somewhere. Where did you start being who was so hard on you that you have to be so hard on you?
I would say it's from my mom.
Yeah.
Just my mom upbringing. We're 100% best friends now, but she has this perfection-y, like things always need to be like so clean. Like we also, our upbringing was my parents are really health focused. So we were focused a lot on looks, we were focused a lot on health, and it wasn't, that's definitely where, I don't remember being like scolded specifically for my grades or my performance in sports or anything like that, but I think there was just this underlying energy of have your shit together,
How you
are not
how you present
a
yourself.
good daughter.
How you present yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What
And
about-
how other people see you.
Yeah.
Part of that.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
I connect though with that too. Like my mom would like make me go to job interviews and I didn't even want to do the job. I wanted to do something else. And she was like, do not talk to me unless you show up at that interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
then
a
the
lot of
people
expectations. Yeah, it's a lot of expectations. Well, if you grow up in we are dependent on our parents, right?
We
As
are.
kids, we cannot just say, hey, I don't like how you parent me and I'm moving out. I mean, until you start making your own money. But all the patterns that we learned, right? Like I have to perform and I have to do what my mom tells me. Otherwise, I'm going to be scolded or I'm going to be disapproved of. And you had it in your own way.
Yeah.
So no wonder that you are hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Because what would happen, what would that mean if I'm more gentle with myself and forgiving? What would that mean about you?
What would it mean if I was more gentle and forgiving?
Imagine if you screwed up or you make a mistake and you are just like, you know what, Megan, this is okay.
Yeah.
You are still incredible and I still love you. Like, what would that mean if you just forgive yourself?
That would just open up so much space and energy for me to feel more peaceful and aligned. Like, even I've been saying to you guys this week, like I've had a very chaotic week. And I am of course hard on myself for that. And I could forgive myself for that and then move on in this really clear space.
Yeah, but
or I could hold on to
But there is
it.
something else,
Yeah.
right? Yes, that's the positive when you finally are ready to like be more in inner peace, 100%. But what is the darker side of this? What is the shadow side of it? If I let go of being perfect or being so judgmental with myself, then what does that mean? Does that mean I'm not
That
as
I get
lovable?
to fuck up.
That what? Yeah, that I'm not as acceptable. That people will see me with all of me. Like I don't know, but like, what is the shadow of that?
The shadow of that, I guess, is just being vulnerable. I don't know if this counts as the shadow, but I think when I let go of being so hard on myself, I just allow myself to be more vulnerable. And I think vulnerable, like I could have deep conversations. I started a company literally about deep conversations, but being truly vulnerable, I don't think that's something that has come super easy to me, especially as being someone who has found out lately that she's an avoidant person and has like a really big shell over me, and with all the
Well.
pressure of just being positive and being happy and looking
Yeah.
like I kind of
But then what are we avoiding?
vulnerability, realness.
Well, because if
See
I
love.
see if I see you
Love
real,
and
if I
connection.
see you real, then what? If I see all of you, your mess, your screwed ups, like everything, not the put
I love
together
your
mess.
mess.
Hard because
I love
at
your
the
mess.
same time, like I am a hot mess express. Like this is not something I try to hide. Like it's almost my. It's weird. It's weird because
Alter ego, maybe? I
I don't know. I feel it. I'm not trying to seem perfect at all.
Yeah.
I
This is so
totally
fascinating.
admit
Okay.
people that I have
Yeah.
shit going on, and I will share it. But I guess it's a
So-
vulnerability within my self. I
I
don't
was
know.
gonna
I'm
say,
stumped.
Like, remember the other day when we were chatting and she shared with me something she was moving through with her friend. And remember I said, like, we talked about friendship green flags, and I said, I really appreciated you sharing that vulnerably with me because I feel like I got to connect with you on a new level than we had connected in the past. So it's almost like on the other side, of course, of vulnerability is birthplace, love, and belonging, as Brene Brown says. But like, I think that the vulnerability is, I think this is the part that you're missing.
This is so interesting. So you say I can be vulnerable, but you say she's missing it. So where is she avoidant, you think?
Definitely with tasks. Like in a workplace setting, of course, we're business besties and we're besties with tasks, but you're working on that and you're doing really good. Like I've seen a massive improvement in the last month.
Okay. So
Yes.
Megan, I want to hear because you said I found out I'm avoidant. So describe that to me.
So I never knew anything about anxious and avoidant
Yeah.
people until I've been single.
Yes.
I've been single for almost 3 years, and after my last relationship was with this really awesome guy, but I just felt very suffocated in the relationship. I felt like I was so wanting my independence. I don't know. I was really curious about the dynamic because, like you keep saying the word patterns. I noticed, like, I love giant, massive men, but like I always feel like they're my girlfriends.
Interesting.
That is not what I was expecting.
No, me neither. I was like, what's gonna come? Wait a minute,
I'm
what?
like, why?
But I was thinking, but they're like anxious, but they're like
big
girlfriends.
machos.
I'm like, wait a minute, I'm so confused.
No, like I would
okay.
feel like the
That is
boyfriend in a
what I like.
relationship, probably because I hear about more of my friends, and I think women in general typically lean towards anxious rather than avoidant. Is that correct?
Oh, it depends. You can be both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just
You can
hearing
be
with
both.
different dynamics.
Yeah.
My friends would be talking about like how they're feeling and how their partner. I'm like, I resonate more with what's happening with your partner. So whatever. All this guided me to.
So wait a
learn-
minute.
I read the book
so what do you
Avoidant.
mean? He was more anxious? That's where you felt. Why did you feel suffocated in that relationship?
We brought out, it was the anxious avoidant trap. So I was more avoidant.
And he was more
he
anxious.
would push towards it and then like get more anxious. It's the trap.
He was kind of chasing you, and you were running away, kind of.
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
But this has happened in multiple relationships. So whatever. This was maybe 2.5 years ago. I read the book Avoidant, and I was like, holy shit, this makes so much sense.
Okay.
And I was having all these breakthroughs. It was really weird because while I was reading this book, my ex, one prior from the one I was just speaking to, wrote me a message apologizing for he's like, I just learned about avoidant, anxious relationships, and I'm apologizing for showing up so anxious.
Okay.
That was
this is
crazy.
That's nice.
That was wild.
That was a crazy energetic thing that
Yeah.
happened. But that just being said, I see that pattern in every relationship that I've had.
So when people get too close, you get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. But what parts of you are you uncomfortable with?
I think especially because I've been single for 3 years. So the last
Yeah.
time I was in a relationship, I was just turned 27. I was so prioritizing. I was very committed to my girls' trips.
Okay.
I was very committed
The plot.
to, at the time with my last relationship, I had 3 jobs. I was just like committed to a very, very busy life.
Okay.
And I felt like when he was messing with that, or if he was feeling hurt by that or not prioritized by that, it would make me feel very frustrated because I'm like, I'm just working, like I'm just trying to have a balanced life. I don't understand why this is making you so upset.
Okay, but would you miss him sometimes or not? Like when you would be
Yeah.
away, would you miss him or not at all?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I want you to tell me when you read the book Avoidant, because I'm listening to you and I am happily married for almost 15 years, okay? And I don't say you have to be a busy bee, but there has to be independence within the relationships, right? Some people like to do more things together, some don't. Some like to go on a trips alone, and that's fine too. So doing things separately is not a problem per se.
Not for me.
Yes, but when you read the book and you say, okay, I can resonate with that, what description of avoidant? Because I think I'm trying to see clearly where you are avoidant. I can have ideas, but I need you to tell me when you are reading this book and you're like, oh, that's me, that's me, that's me.
It's the hyper focus on my independence at the time, but I do have to say in the past 3 years, I have learned so much about myself and I've just grown up. Like I'm almost 30. I do honestly think when I meet someone that I really like next, it's not going to be such a hyper independent.
Well, it will be because you are we're playing the plot, right? We talked about your dating and you say, I'm just playing the plot. Can you tell us, the audience, what the plot is?
What's the plot?
What's the plot, people?
There's a plot happening in my dating life this week. It was not a good plot. As Carly knows, there was a visitor that came to see me from Egypt. It didn't work out that well.
No, but like general, what's the plot? Because I think we are kind of using it a bit for fun. So like, you kind of say like, it's so fun, I'm just doing the plot.
Okay. So when I say I'm doing something for the plot, I mean, I think my dating life was never for the plot until I lived in Miami. And I think living in Miami makes it a little bit easier for you to
embrace the plot.
Live for the plot.
Yeah.
And the plot leads you to nowhere. It's like you're like, where are we today? I don't know.
There are plots in every corner. But for me, it's the, I'm young, I'm single, just for the experience.
I don't have to commit.
Even if I know that it might not end up ideally.
We already know it's not, but let's play with maybe.
Yeah.
So
some of the plots do end up fun.
But they get in the way.
In a relationship? But no, listen, I'm all for fun if that's what you are looking for. I always say there is no judgment. If you want to have multiple partners, do what serves you, right? As long as you are happy.
Yeah.
And so we said that you want to be married, you want to have a relationship. So, right? So, but we are doing the plot thing because it's so fun and sometimes it leads somewhere fun, right? But then
it's fun for me to hear, honestly.
She's following the plot so she can avoid the pattern. And we're going to find out what the pattern is.
Yeah.
Okay?
Boom.
So the plot is fun, but you want a relationship. Okay. Imagine you can't entertain plot anymore. What would you have to get really comfortable with? The plot is not an option. You know, you have 3 doors, be single, go follow the plot, and then go for the real commitment.
Get married.
Those 2 are off. The single and the plot are done. Now you have only this entrance. So what would you have to get really comfortable with?
I would say just like feeling more comfortable in a more grounded, less chaotic lifestyle.
Oh my God, isn't that boring?
No!
I was waiting. I'm like, wait a minute.
No, she's craving it.
Because I know that you think this is bullshit, but
it's great that you tell me what I think, but yeah, let's keep going.
Well, okay, my judgment as we were speaking on this prior and you were looking at me as I was saying this was, yeah, sure. But obviously I don't know your thoughts. I do, like, Carly knows this as our best friend, and I probably have to prioritize self-care more than almost anyone I know because I'm so chaotic to bring me to baseline. But my life is, I do include so much peace in my day-to-day.
I know,
it's
but
insane.
Imagine there is no chaos.
Yeah,
imagine there is no chaos. How would that? I need you to take a moment. I need you to close your eyes for a moment.
Okay.
Imagine that every day is peaceful. There is no chaos. There is no crazy. There is no wild out there. I don't know what's gonna happen next. Just like, I'm peaceful. It's kind of becomes predictable in a way in a relationship. Right? There's a part that's very predictable. How does that feel?
That feels good. It feels good. And I did. I lived that very peaceful, very single, no roster life last year.
She
I've been
actually
there.
did. That's
I was
true.
a full-on hermit.
Maybe this is just like a response.
But
to
you
that.
see, the hermit, it's not like my life is peaceful, but I'm not hermit. I have a wild, like I told you, my kids are laughing that I'm kind of crazy. And they say you are the wildest mom we know. But my fun and wild is not chaotic.
Yes.
So it's still grounded, but it's pleasure and joy and fun. But you kind of went from being a hermit to now like, hey, let's date this person that just flew from other country and let's do the plot. So it's like, what's in the middle of it? Because again, it's the spectrums, right? Like when you say I'm anxious and then the other spectrum is avoidant, okay? And when I'm asking you define the avoidant, you have a very hard time with it because I still don't know. Do you know? I have no clue.
I honestly didn't know you were avoidant.
I don't, because maybe you were avoidant years ago.
Yeah, maybe you're not, girl.
Normally avoidant, you know, if you have the avoidant part of you, people go, yeah, I don't ask people for help. I don't need a lot. I need a lot of time on my own.
Yeah, I used to have a really hard time asking for help.
Okay.
I used to, and I think rather than reading the avoidant description and thinking I resonated with that, I resonated with when I was reading the anxious avoidant trap in a relationship and how that felt in me and the kind of partners that I was attracting and the characteristics that I was bringing out in them and kind of making them feel insecure.
But were you ready for like stable relationships?
No.
That's
oh my
what
God,
I mean.
no.
So I think if you attracted somebody who is more anxious and wants stability while you wanted more fun, that's fine. I don't think it's the attachment stuff. I just think you are in very different seasons of your life. Meaning, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm asking you, show me the avoidant parts, and I'm so confused right now. Because avoidant people will say, hey, expressing emotions is really, really, really hard. I don't even know what I feel. I don't know. Nobody ever asked me what I feel. Nobody ever asked me what I needed. I never expressed that. Oh no, I'd rather do it myself 100 times than ask somebody for help. So, you know, there are signs of people who are avoidant and feel like people don't care for them because they were not cared for emotionally, okay? So when you would say like, oh, I avoid deep conversations or I avoid telling them the truth about myself, then I would feel like, oh, tell us.
An avoidant tendency that I have is I would, and now that I'm aware of this, I would just break up rather than having a conversation. Run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's an avoidant tendency, meaning like, oh my gosh, this is gonna go really badly. I don't want the discomfort of this conversation or expectation. Which one would it be?
Things that could have been a conversation in past relationships were a breakup. Like things that I could have said, this is bothering me, we could work on, we could do this to work on that, it would just be a breakup. I'm super aware of that and I'm not bringing that into any future relationships, but that's definitely an avoidant tendency that I've had.
But also my question is, you didn't do it because you didn't care much for those people, you didn't care enough, or you were just not ready for a relationship, or is it really, I don't want the discomfort of this conversation?
I think it was a combination of me not being amazing at communicating my emotions clearly and me just not fully being ready for it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You see, because that's why I don't like, I mean, the labels sometimes help us, but I also don't like to, when you said I'm avoidant, and I'm like, let's not say that, because then you kind of attach yourself to the label.
100%.
And there is so much more nuance. You see, that's why I say there's so much more nuance in everything. That's why I say really think about things you say about yourself, because then you become what you say you are.
Yes.
Correct? So when you say I'm avoidant, and then you have a hard time telling me, I see there is a disconnect. So you moved through some things already and you are aware of many things already. But I also think at that age, me at your age, I was looking for the stable partner because I was looking for somebody to save me, honestly. My dad died when I was 3, so I didn't know what a man's love feel like for me. So I know I was at your age, I would be like, yeah, lock it in, let's go, I'm ready for the marriage. I was not, right? Where you were more of, I'm having fun with my life, right? Kind of give me space, and then when people bring the serious conversations, you don't want to do them. Well, now because you are not ready and you don't want to, and it's so much effort, why would I even do this? It's not worth it. And there was the part of you that, you know, lacked in the communication around your emotions. Are you better with this right now?
I like to think that I am better at communicating my emotions, but I've been single for 3 years, so I had a small kind of situation last year. And I felt like in that I was really good at communicating my emotions, saying how I felt. I saw how I could definitely be better in the future. So I think there is growth. I think I'm growing up.
Yeah,
I'm
you are
wondering
growing
who that
yeah.
was. I can't remember.
I know you mentioned like in the beginning of the conversation that you like huge men that are like your girlfriends. Okay, that was 3 years ago. We are here. You've grown a lot. So what do you realize? What was your energy like 3 years ago that you were attracting men who seem to be more anxious, so maybe more feminine? And what is happening right now?
I definitely have gone more in my feminine in the past couple of years, especially last year when I was dealing with my health things, and it forced me to slow down and stop being so constantly busy. I think in this more feminine energy, I would obviously expect myself to attract a different kind of partner.
But who are you attracting right now?
The plot men. All of them are for the plot.
The plot man. Because
She can tell, yeah. There's many characters that could be mentioned. This steamy gym partner.
So wait, you want a husband, but you will not meet him until you stop being the main character of your plot.
No, I wrote in my journal 2 nights ago, I'm done with the plot. The plot is dead.
2 days ago, but yesterday you were on a date. So
Well, 'cause
listen,
I realized
we
it's
forgive
2
you.
days,
It's all good, but now we all heard that she's done with the plot.
Yes.
But this is always what I see with women. You say you want something, but until you change your behavior to match your new identity of I am ready to be a wife, I'm ready to be wifed, the men show up.
Yeah.
But you need to stop entertaining the plot
Yeah.
of chaos.
But I'm going to be sad because I'm going to miss the stories.
Yeah, I am right there with you, Ludmila.
We are.
She's right there.
Actually,
now we have your number, so you know
I
we're
do have
gonna
a
keep you
question
accountable.
for our marital expert here because I really look up to you, being a married woman. And
Appreciate you.
Of course. And I wanted to ask, like, up to what point? Because I do have a handful of really close friends who are still single. And I wonder sometimes, being married almost for 3 years now, I wonder sometimes if women are too judgmental and just at the second the person shows one, what do you call it? Like red flag or just like falling short of something. Like I guess
Like they're human.
Yeah, they're
Meaning
human.
not even a red flag, but just you know
truly
something.
what it means to be human. We all have got something, right?
Yeah.
Do you think women are running too fast? Like they can't take it?
Well, they cannot take what? For me to see somebody being human,
Yeah.
I need to be human.
Yeah.
For me to see your flaws, I need to
flaws.
see my flaws.
Yeah.
And women are trying to be what? Perfect.
And that's
So if I have this pedestal that I have to be perfect and I have to look a certain way and I have to speak this and I have to behave this way, you cannot see me anxious. You cannot see me without my makeup. You cannot see me in my mess. Then guess what? I will date a man and I will say I want a man, and then the moment I see something in him that will show me my own parts that I'm trying to avoid, you are out.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
Because I'm not comfortable enough with my own vulnerability. I'm not comfortable to say, I feel anxious right now. And
That's
how will
me.
he take it?
It's real
I had
too.
a client, I will tell you, so I had a client, she hired me when she was single. And she was divorced before, no children. And I told her, just follow my advice. You will see, you will attract a man that you want. And I remember like 2 days before she met the guy, she says, where? Ludmila, where? And I said, stop asking where. Just trust the process.
Yeah.
Finally, the guy appeared. Amazing. I never met him, but she tells me he is everything she wanted, okay? All the important things, emotionally, very intelligent, very caring, thoughtful, financially really stable, all the things.
Love it.
And then I'm receiving a phone call with a full panic attack after 5 months of dating because he's ready to propose. Okay, are we ready
5
for
months.
the plot?
Okay.
Yes.
Another plot.
Yes, another plot,
Oh,
but a
gosh.
positive plot. Correct,
positive
because they've
plot.
been spending, I got engaged within 9 months of knowing my husband. And I don't say he's going to do it now, but there is a conversation of possibility of engagement, okay? Now, what that brings up, what are still the parts of her that are hiding, kind of? The anxious me, she's still trying to manage the anxiety. And I get them both on a call, and I tell them to look in each other's eyes, and I say, now I want you to look at him and tell him exactly what you are scared of. What are you petrified of him seeing in you? Not the pretty, not the made up,
performative,
not the
yeah.
performative. I need you to go deep with the scariest things that you told me today on a phone call. I need you to look at this man and tell him. And she starts saying it. It's like, maybe I'm not the right size. I have some weight to lose. And he looks at her and goes, I love every juicy pound of your body. As he's looking at her, okay?
Wow.
I love it. The more of it, the better for me. Do you understand what is happening? So she's trying to hide while he's like, I love all of this. And then so when we went through the exercise of them looking at each other, holding hands, and I said, what's the next thing you are afraid of? What's the next thing you are afraid of?
That's beautiful.
What's the next thing you're afraid of? And when she was done, every time he would come back with why this is working out for him, she goes, I don't want to be cooking. I'm not the wife that will be cooking all the time. And he goes, there are a lot of great takeouts. Yeah. We can grill. I don't like, he would have an answer for everything while looking in her eyes.
It's beautiful.
And then I turned the tables and I said, now, sir, I want you to tell her what you are scared to tell her.
Ooh.
What are your insecurities? And guess what? Confident men also have insecurities, right? Like how many men go bald?
Yeah.
That's a thing, right? So, and then he starts sharing. And every time he starts sharing, she does what? She nurtures that part of him that is kind of insecure a little bit, like I'm losing my hair.
Wow.
Right? And she looks at him and says, I don't care if you have hair or not. Like, I love you as you are. Do you see? When we are hiding,
amazing.
we are literally removing the possibility of having that experience of deep connection and accepting each other for who we are.
We assume that they are going to not love us for that side
Correct.
of us.
Because we don't love those parts of us.
Yeah.
Because I don't love the parts of me that are messy. Even though we say, if you really see me every day and you see I'm really disorganized, Lord, you're going to think I'm not serious.
Yeah. That's
right? Because I'm judging myself for not being organized because I always was requested to be organized and look apart.
Wow.
So what happens if I stop looking the part?
I feel like you, in that one session, just prevented years of fighting. Like,
Correct.
that would have taken years for each of those individual insecurities and flaws to pop up.
Because
That's
guess
amazing.
what happens when I feel anxious and I'm afraid you are not going to love me? I'm going to run.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, he's better off without me.
I remember when I met Drew at a young age, I was 18 going on 19, and I was so scared because I literally had no money. Like, straight up, I was in college, I had no money, and I was so afraid to tell him I had student loans. And basically a year in, he realized it, and he showed up in ways I never expected, like made my life so much easier. So it is
By
amazing.
the way, that should be a role of a man, not to make your life difficult, but easier.
True. Easier, right?
Yeah.
Simply.
Make it easier for me.
Amen.
Make it easier. But also, and again, this is, again, an invitation. If you wouldn't share that or he wouldn't notice, you take away a gift.
True.
He loves to give to you.
Literally.
Men
He
love
loves
to
that.
give. If I don't show you what I need in admiration or support, I'm taking away a gift of you to show up as a man for me.
Right.
So that's kind of selfish too.
Yeah, that is
Right?
that is like a good paradigm shift,
Yes,
honestly.
yes.
That's true.
Because when I speak to men, I speak with men as well, and all they want is to be supportive of us. Healthy men, of course. I speak, my clients have challenges, but they're all very healthy people that want to be in a healthy relationships. And men want to support. They want to be of service. But if you don't ask for what you need, how can they be of service?
True.
And then they feel useless to you.
Yeah.
Correct? So
And
it's
then-
like, how can I extend that gift not only to myself to receive, but also to him to give? And that comes back receiving. How easy are we with receiving?
Yeah.
Unconditional, not receiving and thinking, how do I give back immediately? Because
I'm pretty good at receiving.
yeah, she's like, I take it.
And you're good at giving. You're good at
I
giving.
used to not give it.
Ooh, love languages. I wish we could pull a card on. I wonder what everyone's love languages are.
But for me, like
Curious.
when we even get to love languages,
Yeah.
we can love the conversation. But the first love language for me that's non-negotiable and foundational is emotional safety.
Love it.
That's it. Like you can, because I have so many people that do acts of service or buy you gifts, but if they are completely dysregulated, I'm sorry, it's not going to work.
It's kind of like what we're talking about. Like when we overly identify with being an avoidant or being
Yes.
an anxious attachment, we literally bring on this whole identity. That's interesting.
You do,
too.
and
There's
you
room
take
to
it
grow
on, and
evolve,
guess what
yeah.
you try to do? You try to prove it then to me. I'm always,
True.
I used to be very reactive. I used to be oh yeah.
No,
You
I actually
would-
wouldn't think that though. But
no,
now that you
would
say it, I can
cross
see it.
me. Oh Lord, thank God you didn't meet me 20 years ago.
I
If
might
you-
run.
No, you would not run. I would destroy you on the spot.
Were you intimidating?
Me? Oh yes, everybody was scared of me.
Ooh.
Oh, boys and girls. Like I was somebody who, Yeah, they knew it. They're like, they would meet me, and I just didn't care about, as I say, what everybody thinks, especially if we don't have a deep connection. I don't care.
Yeah.
And that, I realized, came from my mom. You know, she grew up during the war. There was a lot of trauma with my mom and so forth. So she raised me to do what? To protect myself at all costs and always win. You have to be the strongest opponent in the fight. That doesn't even matter, but let's fight.
Yeah.
So if I would feel, and disrespect was one of those things, like if I felt disrespected by your words, now I just laugh. I'm like, okay, just move on.
Yeah.
I would destroy you with my words. I wouldn't even have to pick up my hands. I would look at you and I would literally make you so small, you would never talk to me. Yeah.
Do you think you were you attacking people's character or?
Oh, everything. Whatever, the jugular. And then I would look at them and I'm like, more?
So what made you change?
I know, look at you now. You're so sweet.
You're
like a sweet
I became a mother, and my child was, my firstborn was a lot like me, so he would challenge me a lot. But if you are challenged as a parent in my culture, it's you are disrespected. So now again, what did he trigger in me? Normally, what I would do with somebody who disrespects me? Overpower them and make them small. I cannot do that with my child.
True.
I could, and a lot of people do. But I knew that this is not going to work out, right? So I had to literally reframe the identity. And I used to say, I'm somebody who is explosive. I'm somebody who is reactive. I'm somebody who needs to have the last word. I'm like, right now, I don't care. Have the last word. Goodbye.
I'd love for you to share an example of a time where maybe you didn't show up, because obviously this required an immense amount of work in progress of trying to show up as this type of version of you and then failing. When you would fail, so I would love for you to share an example of maybe a time where you didn't speak to your son the way you hoped you would.
So many times.
And maybe Doug saw it.
Oh yeah, he
and
did.
How you would forgive yourself. and he did.
Well, there was a
How'd
lot.
you forgive
because
yourself?
First you need to admit that there is a problem. Right?
Yeah.
And look at how am I, instead of looking at my son, and that's what we do in our parenting, in our relationships, friendships, and business even. We can go back to friendship in a moment. But normally what do we do? And if we are unaware and unconscious, what do? We point the finger. So I would point the finger and I would say, what is wrong with you? I would look at my son and be like, what is wrong with? He's like 4. He's like confused.
What do you mean?
He's like, I'm living my best life being rebellious, And I would say, I would look at him, what is wrong with you? You need to listen.
Yeah.
And there was this one moment when I was yelling at him, and he doesn't like to talk about this anymore because he says, Mom, you are not this person anymore.
Wow.
So why would you say that? And I'm like, it's okay. I was this person at some point because I had no idea how to manage my emotions. Because the way I grew up, and I think all of us, we were told to behave certain ways, right? But there was no teaching on, if you feel angry, this is what you do. If you feel disappointed or sad, this is what you do. Nobody taught us the skills of regulation or coping, right? Just shut it down, or fight, right? Or fight, be the strongest person.
Yeah.
So one time I was yelling at him and he looked at me and he literally calm as a cucumber said, okay, a child, 5 years old or 4 years old. And he goes, so you are yelling at me, telling me to stop yelling. Make it make sense right now.
True.
A 4-year-old?
And I thought I've never felt this rage, but like the motherhood will bring up all the sides of you. That's why you have to be ready. That's why, like, I hope everybody, a lot of my clients have kids, they want to have kids. You need to do this work before or when you do have kids, because they will trigger all parts of you you haven't even knew were there. So that I could feel myself, wow, like if I would put hands on my child right now, I don't know if it would make it. So I had to kind of look at him, see myself in him, because I used to be that child. Like, I know you are telling me to do something you are not doing.
Yep.
Right? And kind of own that and admit I was a reactive parent for some time because I didn't have any other skills. I also thought I have to kind of, I stayed home for some time, so I thought I need to do it on my own. My husband was helping, but he was traveling, but I couldn't hire help much because, I'm staying home. All the limiting beliefs that women in my culture didn't teach me, like get as much help as you can. You don't have to show that you can do it on your own. And so there was a moment when I felt very guilty and ashamed. And more than anything, I felt like I damaged my child because of this behavior. That was like the hardest to sit with, And also believe that if I can change, he doesn't have to change. I will change, he will adapt, and we are very resilient. So I had to forgive myself. I had to kind of admit, like, I did a lot of things wrong, but I also didn't know any better.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was time when I felt guilty and shame. I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel there was a community of women where I could be honest, because a lot of moms pretend. We all pretend, you know, at the playground. This is so great. I'm feeling so great. And I don't say sit and complain, but where is the humanity in all of us? Because if you are a mother, I know that there are some moments when you are like,
Yeah, I think it's interesting because it's shame and guilt is something I've been observing in my own journey, because I'm now almost 30 and I've had really 10 strong years of being a self-aware person and seeing where I'm getting in my own way in my own life. So what I kind of realized recently is when I'm sitting in shame, I'm just being, that's like so selfish. That's not like a forward movement. And I'm obsessing with maybe how I fell short in a moment, and I'm obsessing with how I could have done it better. But I think when you think about it, you have to just take the wisdom and run with it. You have to find the wisdom from however it was that you fell short and move forward.
and admit, like, that's all what I knew. Number one. And then if you share with a friend, then it's not shame anymore, because shame lives in silence and in, you know, secrecy. Yeah. So if you can talk to Drew or your friend or anybody else, then that's why I started talking more even with my husband, how it felt. Instead of saying he pisses me off, I would say, you know, I feel like I'm inadequate right now.
I think like we love seeing this side of you. It's so special to see this human side of you, and just
Pretty human.
honoring her and celebrating her, because
Pretty
that's what
human.
we're all about. So Megan and I created CELE Chats, which is our conversation cards designed to help deepen connections, eliminate
I love
small
it.
talk, really get to the core really fast, honestly. We were tired of small talk in our own friendships, and
I remember you were saying you were tired of just drinking and having conversations that led to nowhere. I remember that moment.
oh yeah. I think I lived in Naples then. Yeah. I did actually. So we would love for you to pull a card.
Okay.
If you want to pull from that deck. And read it aloud and proud.
Is there anyone in your life that you owe an apology to? If so, why haven't you given it yet? I think I owe an apology to myself.
Oh, wow, I love this answer.
I've always felt very proud how resilient I was when I left my country. I left at 19 with nothing, went to another country with like literally not knowing the language. I worked as au pair, and I've always felt so proud of the resilience, and I'm still proud of the resilience. But I also think the missing piece for me was to recognize that in the end, even though I did it and I'm grateful because now I live this beautiful life, I kind of dismissed the part of me that didn't want to admit that I had no other option. Like there was no option for the 19-year-old me to stay where I was. With my mom, I love her dearly, but I needed to leave. I had no opportunities, I had no connections. It was a very hard time politically still. We're a new democracy. And I've always looked, as we talked about this, I always looked at when you say, I'm always happy, and I always looked at the strength from this decision of like, you did it, you are so resilient. But I missed out on the part of me that also felt sad that I had to leave everything behind that I knew. I dismissed her. I was like, you just did amazing, girl. I'm so proud of you. You survived it all. Correct. But also the part of me that was like, there was no other option. And I had to make it work when it was really hard. And when I felt like I wanted to. And I think that's very new. It's been in the apology. I still own it to myself at 19 because I think it's a very new theme that I've been working with lately because it started to show up very interestingly.
In what ways? Like, do you wonder what life would have been like if you had stayed put or what?
No, I don't. I'm very happy. I'm not regretful. It's just the rhetoric and the story in my head was always, you did so great, right? And I did, like literally I did. I made myself out of kind of nothing in a foreign country with the language I didn't speak. Yeah. And no mentorship and anything. But I think I dismissed the part of me that was a lot in survival. And it was hard. It was really hard at some point also. I had no money. Yeah. At some point I had no money for food for like 2 days. I would never tell my mom, right? But there was this, you cannot go back, so you deal with it, right? Let's be raised for resilience. But that part of me that felt very like, you know what? I wish it was better at home. Was not recognized. So I don't wish it was different, but I felt emotional around this topic lately. Yeah. Kind of forgiveness. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't notice that it was hard for you.
Yeah.
You overcame, but it was. You wish maybe it was better at home in some ways, financially or support-wise or opportunities-wise, right? Because like jumping such a big jump, you made the best out of it, but it was stressful. And I had no coping skills at that time either. So, you know, just kind of that loneliness of that period as well. Like
Even how you maybe showed up at certain times and you have to forgive yourself because you were literally in survival mode.
survival, a lot of survival. With the strength that I said, like I will destroy you, but it was survival. And I took a lot of pride in it. But I say like that part of me that felt, why did I have to do that? Right? You know what I mean? Like I thought I had options, but I really didn't. So that has to be also recognized. Like
It's so common for us to just kind of disregard the hard challenges that we went through, and always, when you're a positive person, always look for the lesson or look for the I'm so proud of myself. But it's like, no, like that was shitty. Like I feel bad
hard.
for it. Yeah.
It was hard because I was never a smoker. Like I was anti-smoker, and then I started smoking at some point in Belgium because I had no coping skills. And now I think like, oh, that was breath work. Okay, great. It's like thinking it's the cigarette that makes me, you know, and it was making me more anxious, you know. Yeah, it was like, oh, I just needed to breathe. But the just compassion. And just saying, you know, I'm so sorry to my younger self that I was struggling so much. Instead of just sitting and like, hey, this is hard, I just try to distract myself, you know, and just being but it was just survival. So just having grace for that.
I don't think you would be doing what you're doing today the way that you're doing it with the level of love and compassion and kindness if you didn't go through that. And we celebrate you. We're so proud of you.
Oh, I
you would
appreciate
not
that.
be
I appreciate
where you
that.
are
This
today.
is a really good question.
All right, one more.
One more.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Ooh, okay. What is something about your life that the 18-year-old version of you would be really proud of? I am so proud of the family that I created with my husband. Like, I'm proud of my marriage. I'm proud of who I am as a wife, proud of the mother that I constantly keep becoming and evolving to. How much I had to let go of the reactive version of me and sometimes still working through some small hiccups, but I'm so proud that I'm not chaotic anymore in those ways that there's still some chaos in different ways, but I'm just so proud that she, at 18, she lived off this, you know, constant cortisol, dopamine, chaos, up and down, and I'm so proud of the emotional piece that I've created for myself and for our kids and for my marriage. I could never, at 18, if you would ask me, hey, do you believe you can be happily married? I'd be like, no. Yeah. I would think that I need to chase a man, prove my worth to him, kind of be thankful if he chose me. You know, that was kind of the thinking at 18, that I need to be this type of a woman who cooks and make sure he's comfortable. I had no idea. I had no idea what a healthy marriage would look like or family. So. And I look at my family right now and I'm so grateful. And I'm just grateful. I think she would be really proud of. She would be saying, wow, you really have done this. Something that we really wanted our whole life. You have it now. You created it.
Definitely.
Wow, that is incredible. It's so important to celebrate yourself.
It is.
It can feel awkward to do that in a social setting.
Yeah.
So
That's why one of the sections of the card game is self-love club, and just getting you familiar with speaking yourself up with other people, because it's
I love this. And that's also like an entry into vulnerability.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you start sharing about yourself, you can relate to some things and you can say, oh, me too.
Yeah.
I can hear myself in that.
all about deepening connection.
Yeah.
It's human medicine, honestly. I spent a lot of time not connecting with people in the last year, so it's refreshing to be sitting here with you, Ludmila, and you, girl. Missed you.
Thank you. And how are your friendships going? Like, do your friends like this game?
Yeah, I would say they freaking love it. I really do think. I think they're so proud of us.
My friends
honestly.
definitely play it more than I play.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Sometimes we're like sheepish to bring it out.
Sometimes, like when I was a fitness instructor, I would get sick of taking fitness classes. When you start selling a conversation card game and talking about it all the time, I would take little breaks with it, but my friends are always whipping it out, and it's so cute and nice.
Oh, I love this. I love that they are supportive of what you are doing, you know.
That's why we created it.
So what are your, like, how do you look at your friendships, female friendships changing? Because I know there is, you know, saying that women have a hard time sometimes with being supportive with each other, and really cheering each other on, right? Sometimes I think if women had so much patience for their friends as they have for the men, the world would be very different.
True.
Good point.
They're taking all their
You forgive
anger
so
out.
much with men.
Because I've owned multiple businesses in my life, I have learned that when you're an entrepreneur and your friends aren't entrepreneurs, sometimes they don't support you in the way that you would expect them to. Yeah. And at first, I think that I used to have a yoga studio with my mom, and I thought my friends would be going to classes all the time. Yeah. And it just wasn't always the case. And then I think sometimes even with Sally, like we'll post about it on social media and we'll be expecting our friends to engage.
Except Haley. Shout out Haley.
Yeah, some of our besties, but our besties that are pretty much like also like doing entrepreneurial things get it. The ones that don't, I think they don't sometimes see how much the support means.
It's a currency, and I'm thankful because Megan and I are confident enough to not take that personally, honestly.
Yeah.
Neither of us take it personally.
Yeah, probably because we've been doing it for so long.
Yeah,
that
I
you
can
just kinda
remember
get used to it.
showing up on social media being like, I bet people think this is cringe, but I don't really care because I know why I'm doing it and I love doing it, and that's all that matters. But yeah, I'd say my friendships are definitely, so I feel like I connect with you a little bit with friendships because I have a small circle who has been there for a long time. They've seen how I grew up and how far I've come in this life. And sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes I get a little bit in my head when I meet people at this point in my life because I get a little bit, like I feel like they don't know where I came from and they kind of, so I don't know, sometimes I experience that. I'm actually moving back to Massachusetts I'm so excited. Drew and I just realized we were trading good warm weather for connections and it kind of hit, and then we were like, we should do this now before we start a family. So I'm very excited about that, but it has been, I've moved a handful of times. I know you've moved all over the world. I've moved from Florida to other parts of Florida, now most recently to Charlotte. And the last 2 years, I really haven't been prioritizing my connections the way that I thought I might, honestly. So I have a few friends in Charlotte, a few meaningful ones, but sometimes it feels in my late 20s, it feels like it's hard to like go to that next level with some people and really break through the surface for me.
It does? Do you think it's from your part? Hard sharing, because it kind of takes two to tango.
Sometimes I feel like in Charlotte, it has been hard for me to meet entrepreneurial people versus living in Tampa or, I mean, Meg in Miami, all of her friends are entrepreneurial.
But did you make as much effort?
As I did when I lived in Tampa? No. And I knew that. Like, I think I kept saying to you.
It's a different era. Like,
I kept
you're
saying,
wifey.
yeah, I kept saying to you, like,
You are a wifey. I love that. Okay.
I was kind of, the narrative that was going through my mind before Drew and I decided we're going to be moving was, you know, I think I'm going to meet my people when I become a mother. And I felt at peace with that.
Yeah, but you know, the challenge with that is, and you know, I'm just going to offer it because
Yes, please do. Please do.
If I were you, I would start building my circle now if you want to be a mother, especially with women who do want to be mothers, because let me be very clear. I have some friends who are not mothers, and that's great, but also when you are a mother and you have friends who are single, they don't really understand. And that's not the problem, but you will need friends who are mothers and who will know what's going on. I was the only one that was pregnant. All my friends were single. They would still text me. I was married. And they were great people, but they would text me at 1 a.m. I'm like, I'm sleeping, or I'm not. I have a baby puking all over me. Like, you know, understand your priorities change so much. Like, I love my friends, but can you come and just sit with me or hold my baby for a minute where I can shower? Like, it's just depending on your child as well, how you are recovering from the birth. And if I were you, I would be socializing much more. I had to do it too when I moved here. Like, you have to kind of date for friendship and see. Some people will be we leave them at the table, okay? Sayonara, people. Not a match. I've done that with people too.
Yeah.
But then some will stay and you can build something that is beneficial. And motherhood will change you in ways no book can prepare you for. It's like very emotional, hormonal experience, you know? And so I would be building that already now, because what you did, you kind of avoided connection again, right? Because you had 2 years of your life where you could have built relationships, but you decided, it's always the logical ideas we have, I will just wait until I'm a mother. You know, it gives you an out.
I felt that the handful of friends that I have there were enough. Of course, now one of them actually is, I'm hosting her baby shower in a few weeks actually, so which is really sweet. Yeah. Unfortunately, now I'm moving away from her, but it's okay. But now I'm going to be moving literally 8 minutes from my mom, which feels like a literal dream come true. Because as I was coming into my later 20s, I started to grieve this version of me that I really wanted to live in Massachusetts. Like I was like, I was raised here. I can visualize this version of me being a mom, getting on the ferry, going into Boston, showing my son or daughter all these things that I saw as a young child. So this is literally a dream come true, honestly, that I'm going to be moving back to my roots. And in many ways, I think I needed 2 years to rest. And the peace that I feel today is going to be brought with me over.
That's amazing. But I also want to say something. That's amazing that this is the gift coming true for you right now, like the dream coming true right now. But I will also say, on, you know, becoming a mother and living your life, if you ever want to change your mind, you can.
Yeah.
Just that footnote, you know what I mean? Because sometimes, again, we say, that's the dream come true. And in 2-3 years, you can be a different person. And you can say, you know what, that was great for 3 years. I'm ready to move somewhere else. Just to
I love that.
give yourself a permission, because sometimes we make, again, statements, and then we attach ourselves to the, you know, now I'm committed to, like, this is the dream come true. Like final, you know?
It's hard. I mean, getting Drew on board was something I just kind of had to accept. Because when you have a partner, it's a whole nother story.
Of course. And when you have kids, it's going to be another story, you know, moving and schools and all the,
Yeah, so I think even like, were you shocked when I told you?
Yes, because Drew is always so against moving up north, but also not shocked, because when Carly gets her mind on something, it is
correct.
Like, boom,
He
it's
likes
happening,
you.
game
He likes
over.
you to be very happy. So here,
Yes,
good choice
Drew
of a
is
husband.
a happy wife, happy life
life
man,
guy.
for sure.
Yeah. No, yeah, he was not going to even tell me he was thinking about it until he was 100% certain on his own accord that he was ready to make the move.
Well, because even, and that's thank God, because you don't want a husband who's just a pleaser, just to please you and override his own needs too. Because when we say happy wife, happy life, well, that's only half of the equation. Your husband has to be happy too. You cannot be happy at his own expense. Otherwise, you have a kind of a dysfunctional dynamic, right? Where you stop respecting your husband because he's just like, I'm going to roll over whatever she needs all the time. Even at my own fulfillment, and I don't think that long-term works, honestly. At some point, it's going to be resentfulness. So it's great that he took his time, you know?
All right, I feel like this was a great conversation. I feel like there was so much growth that's happened, especially with me and
The
my
girls
whole
for
plot
releasing the
mindset.
Wonderland plot, yes.
I am so grateful for your expertise and your time. And I
Thank
think
you.
we could say that from both of us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Our last question is just, what's your best advice for how women can celebrate themselves in those darker and lighter parts of themselves so they can really show up fully?
So first, okay, the dark part, and we go to the light. So the dark, I would say just have more boundaries with yourself first, meaning how much of other people's emotions do I want to carry? How much do I want to be the fixer or the leader all the time, right? How much compassion and empathy and understanding do I want to keep extending to people that maybe don't have the same understanding and level of empathy for me? Okay, that's like, yes, I think that's really huge for women because boundaries seem like very rigid, but boundaries are like the act of self-love, I think, with yourself first. So when you see yourself unfulfilled, you know, annoyed with someone, just notice, am I, you know, overgiving too much and I'm being patient too much and I'm being empathetic too much at my own expense, and that's why I'm in balance with myself. So just own your boundaries from love, not from punishment, not from a threat, okay?
I think that's a key word.
Yeah, that's a key word. Don't do it in a reactive way. Just take a moment if something happens and notice how I always say, like, if you point finger at someone, point it 10 times at yourself first, right? So like, take the finger. How did I create this dynamic? How was I entertaining being the overgiver all the time? And why did I do that? It's so clear when you start asking those questions. I am clear why I did that, okay? I was trained to be the person who is always empathetic with others, always understands. I know what's happening with you. Let me just carry this with you, okay? Done, okay. Now, the second part is what a lot of women find cringe, but I tell all my clients, and I'm telling you, it's so simple, but it's not. Look in a mirror, 1 minute a day. Look in a mirror. Hold gaze. Yeah. And I want you to tell yourself everything you want to hear from your husband, you needed to hear from your father, you needed to hear from your mother, from your friend. Yeah. I see you. And I see how scared you must be to really commit all the way in with someone because you love your freedom. And that's okay. You can still have the love, right? Just exploring a little bit of the discomfort in conversations will serve you so well, right? And I love you. And look at yourself and say, I love you. And I swear to God, the women are like, okay, but can I journal? No, you can journal after this. You can do something else after this. After, but you need to get so deeply connected with yourself, because if you want to be deeply connected with somebody else, you can only go as deep as you go with yourself, where you take yourself.
So true.
That's real.
So if this is difficult to look in the mirror and say, I see you. And I know you've been hiding for the last 2 years and trying to pretend you don't need a lot of people, but you do need people, and you want people in your life, and you want to be supported.
Absolutely.
And you want to be cherished, and you deserve all of this. And I love you. And I'm here to help you to create just that, deeply connected relationships. And we are going to start with you. And you look at yourself. Amazing. And you do it once a day. I swear, just do it a minute, whatever comes up to you. I'm so proud of you how you handled this situation with your girlfriend today. I know you wanted to explode, but you didn't. And I see you. And I see how your chest collapses or whatever happens, right? Like, just have this conversation when you can hold your gaze. And then with your partner, notice, can I hold the gaze with my partner when we are talking? A lot of people start doing this or making jokes because this is intimate. Into me, I see.
Yeah. Beautiful. Right? Into me, I see.
Intimacy. Into me, I see. Yeah. Wow. So this is kind of,
That's amazing.
It sounds simple, but I dare you, do it. Be courageous and start loving on yourself like you want everybody else to love you.
Yes.
Be your biggest cheerleader.
No. To end off on, Ludmila, thank you so much for joining us. I know I needed it.
I feel like I
grew up. Some breakthroughs.
Yeah, we all needed it. It was so fun. You are so, and I can see why you are having a good friendship. You are so complementary with each other.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. She's the sister I never had.
Oh.
Love you.
Okay, let's do that. Look in her eyes. Turn your body towards her.
You, Megan, are the sister that I never had, and I'm so thankful for you and your presence.
I'm so thankful for your peaceful energy and how you just show me a version of myself that I want to evolve into.
And you show me as well. You are the most confident person I know, and you allow me to feel safe to be confident in my own skin. So thank you.
And thank you for being my expander friend.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.